Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel, and today we're looking at another quite new release, and that is Picture Consequences by Joel Dickinson. A really fun routine, a really great routine, and one that I love and that I didn't expect to like initially, which is why I held out purchasing it. But then when he started doing a lot of lives, he did a live with Alakazam and he did a bunch of other lives with other magicians where he literally just explains the entire effect to you, explains what you're getting, explain how this works, he explains his thinking behind it. And then I just really appreciated what this was and I really loved what it offered. So I decided to get it and I'm not disappointed. So let's roll the intro and learn more about Picture Consequences. Perfect, so you decide to stick around, which means you want to learn more about Picture Consequences. Now, as a small disclaimer, if you want to learn before you buy this more about it, because I won't be telling you the entire method and everything how this works, and here there's like 3 or 4 lives with Joel Dickinson where he goes deep dive into how this works and everything. So if you really want to learn the intricacies of it, go watch one of his lives. He will go over everything that you need to know. I'm here to just review the product, not necessarily teach you how it works or spoil everything. There's videos of him doing that willingly online, so you can check those out if you want to be nudged more into buying this or not. But I will be performing this for you, and I will explain this to you and tell you, how this would play out to an audience. So you'd introduce this game of Picture Consequences, and you would say, if the spectators knows about this game where you design characters with different images, they would say yes or no, and you play off that. And you tell them, well, the game is really fun, but since you're not really aware of how this works, I have here a few game rules. I also have here the playing board, and we'll set the rules here to the side. We'll have here some cards. First, we're going to set up the game board. So this is the game board where the game is played. Usually it's on a paper, but I have here the game board for the effect. So we'll place that just like that. And then I have here the cards. So different bodies, you have here different heads, different things. Here we'll spread them out so you can see most of them just like that. We'll spread them out as much as we can, just like that. So I have different things here to make characters. And now I have here also the game rules of the effect of the game. So the first rule here is it says select a head to get started and place it on the board. So let's say for me, I like this one. So I'll place this one here on the board. So the chef's head. 2, it would be select a body using a different background. So body using a different background, I like the bear. So I'm going to place the bear on here. And then it says, pick some legs from an unused background to finish off your character. So from an unused background, I'll take the octopus legs. So my character here would be a chef octopus bear. So a really interesting thing that I've made here. So now it's going to be your time to play the game. So what you're going to do is you're going to select the head to get started and place it on the board. So which head do you want to switch this one to? Now, of course, I'm going to be making the decisions, but I will be picking at random, okay? So I'll just go through like this and just see if this is a head. Perfect. So we'll take this one. So you want to replace this with the clown head, and we're going to place that on the board. Now, what body from a different background than your head are you going to want to use for the body? And let's say, so I know there's a body here. We'll just do like this. We'll mix them up and I'll just select someone random. Let's say, okay, so those are legs. This one. Okay, so that's not a different background. Okay, let's say the Santa one. So the Santa one, I'm trying to do this as fair as possible, okay, without it trying to be that I'm forcing an outcome or something. So we're going to do like that. And the last one is pick some legs from an unused background to finish off your character. So that would mean the skeleton legs. Just like that. So my character would be, your character essentially would be a clown Santa skeleton. So then you could play with your specter, ask which one is funnier, yours or theirs. But you tell them like, you agree that you could have had different things and you could have made a different character, and you could have had this head, or you could have had this one with this body, or those legs, or anything like that. You could have had all of these different choices, right? You could have had any of these cards. But you decided to go here with the clown, Santa, skeleton. And did you feel influenced whatsoever by this? Did you feel influenced by this outcome? And be honest. And they'll say no. You say, so you didn't feel influenced choosing this because this was actually a psychological test of influence. Because you could have chosen any of these, but you decided to go for the clown, which from the start on the back said pick me. You went for the Santa body. You could have switched it for any other one. And on the back it says pick me. And you could have went for any other legs, depending on what you have chosen before, but you went for the skeleton legs. The only one that says pick me. So you went for the only 3 cards that displayed pick me. So that is the picture consequence routine. That is how it plays out and how it looks. It's a really, really nice routine. I really, really like it. And yeah, I really, really like it. But now that we've talked about that, let's go into where do you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. So you can buy this pretty much at any major magic dealer. This is available at probably your local magic store. You will be able to find the effect in stock. It will set you back $39.99 US dollars, which is around 50 Canadian dollars. I bought mine at a Canadian magic shop and it cost me $49.99 Canadian. So if you're Canadian, that's the price. And then what you get is a few things. You get 1-year box. Inside of the box, of course, you're going to get the board that you saw, you're going to get the game rules that you saw, and you're going to get the cards that you saw, which are made of really good cardstock, and the boxes as well. Now this, I don't know if it comes in with every package, but you also, if maybe all of them come like this, you also get a nice carrying case that's not going to bang up your box or anything like that. It's going to make you keep this for a super, super long time. Additionally to that, you also get an instructional video with Joel Dickinson, which is around 25 minutes long, and that video teaches you how the effect works, all the MOs, I'm gonna say that, all the MOs, and everything that you need to know about how this would play out. So that is what you get. So having said all of this, is this routine difficult to perform? Now, statistically, there's a lot of ways and a lot of characters that statistically your spectator could build with this, right? Statistically, there's a lot of them. There's 3 colors, 3 backgrounds for each, so that would be 3 times 3 times 3, different ways, different combinations that they could do. So some people do think that this uses a lot of memory work, but it doesn't. So don't be off-put by that. There's no memory work here whatsoever. There's a bit of intuitive memory work. I'm gonna say that it's not really, I don't want to really call it memory work. It's just once you perform it a few times, you'll get it, right? But this is not as simple as other effects that work the same way, right? I don't want to tip too much, even though, we know what this is, there is a bit of memory work. Even though everything here, every single prop helps you with knowing where you have to go with the routine. Every prop helps you with that. So, which is really, really good, which means that, you're never going to be a fish out of water. But there is a bit of memory work, but that's going to come instinctively as you perform the effect more and more. But apart from that, handling wise, it's super, super easy. It's pretty straightforward. It's masked by being like a children game. It's like fun. So it masks kind of some of the things that you do during the routine, but handling wise, no slides, nothing difficult, but just a bit of memory work, but nothing too complicated to do to perform picture consequences. Second of all, practicality. So what about practicality? So you will have to carry around this with you everywhere. Of course, you will have to get around this box, right? So you put this in your pocket, in your jacket, wherever you want in your bag. You will have to carry around this with you. At every single time that you want to perform this, you'll have to carry this around with you. So you will have to carry around an additional deck. Additionally, you need a table with quite a good surface, right? So as you saw, even here on my mat, I had difficulty placing the box, the rules, the board, and all the cards to be visible. So you need a bit of a surface to be able to handle this, right? So this is definitely not something you could do standing up or like without a table. So you really need a table for this, and you need an appropriate surface. I'm going to talk about that in a moment about where to perform. But yeah, for this you just need the box and the table. Apart from that, nothing else. And this is also, you know, instantly resettable. So as you saw, I did the reset in front of you. It's instantly resettable, but it's not an effect that you'll be able to perform again for the same group of people, okay? So due to the nature of this, you won't be able to do this at the same table twice. Or if you do it for someone and then they're like, oh, my friend really wants to see that trick with the images, can you do it for them? The spectator is probably going to see what's happening if they see the effect performed again. So just make sure about that. But if you perform it from table to table, the outcome is going to be different at every single table. And the outcomes are going to vary from table to table. So, you know, some workaround needed with that, but just for you to know and a heads up. But most of all, table and the cards for practicality. So now where do you perform this effect? So this effect can be done stage, parlor, casual, walk around, table hopping, pretty much anywhere, except if you don't have a table. And even if you do have a table, make sure that there's a good space on the table, because you don't want to be, you know, at a wedding and there's plenty of things on the table and you then come to perform this and you're like, oh, can I move this, put that over there, put your plate over there, do that, just for you to have space. So you have to keep in mind that this will require space. So, you know, don't go perform this at a crowded table where you can see they barely have enough place for them to move around the table. Don't go be like, hi, I want to show you something, move everything. So even though this is for walk around and you can do this walk around, table hopping, everything like that, when you pull it out, make sure there's space on the table for you to perform this. So maybe before, if you're a restaurant magician, maybe before their meal comes. If you're performing at bars, maybe do this before their snacks and their drink come, right? So just make sure that when you do this, you have a good surface to perform it on, right? So even though this can be done pretty much anywhere that has a table, also make sure that the table has a surface where you can lay down the cards to perform it. Now, yes, you could just hold the cards in your hand and go like, oh, do you want this one, or this one? But I feel that if you're doing and giving them the choice like that, just by limiting the cards, I think it plays into the effect and makes it less impressive, because the choices are going to naturally dwindle down. And if you do it like that and you don't have them spread out on the table, it kind of downplays a bit of the effect, right? So you really, in my opinion, would want a specific surface, but where to perform pretty much anywhere that has a table and space on the table for you to lay out your game board, your cards, okay, and your box. So having said all of that, I think I gave you enough information that you need about picture consequence. So let's talk about the positives and negatives. First, what are the negatives of picture consequences? So one of the negatives is that you can't perform this without a table, and without a table that has enough space on it. So you will need to be mindful that when you perform this, you will need a large enough table. And two, of course, because of the nature of this effect, it's not really a negative for me, but for some people, you can't, that's important, but you can't do this twice to the same group of people or to the same spectators. So make sure to keep that in mind. But that's all the only negatives that I have about this. What are the positives of picture consequences? The positives are the routine is super fun. The props that you get are really good. The instructional video is straight to the point, direct, and very, very good. It's super fun for the spectator, and it's also super fun for you to perform it. Depending on which way the routine goes, you get giddy because, you know, all of the MOs in this are really good, and most of them are really strong, but some of them are so good. Some of them are so good. For example, the one that I got here is so good. I didn't try and force it. I'm being honest. I just tried to pick randomly. I didn't try and force it, but you got a really good one. And in my opinion, I know this is Joel's favorite, but there's even better. There's one that I like. There's two of them that I like even more than this one. So the MOs are super strong, like super, super strong. So you get, you have fun in the routine, seeing the way it shapes up and the way it moves. It gets you giddy and it gets you excited to reveal it for your spectators. It's also super easy to do, nothing too difficult. It's super practical to carry around as well. In this box, it's gonna last you a long time. And it's also fun for the whole family. So you can definitely perform this for some kids, but also for parents whatsoever. Because I don't really perform for kids, but I've only performed this to like adults, and they had a lot of fun doing it, right? It brought the kid back in them, and it was a lot of fun to perform it for them. So it's really, really good. So those are the positives and the negatives. Would I recommend Picture Consequences? And the answer is yes. I mean, I would definitely recommend this. If you know that you're going to have places where you can perform this regularly, you're going to have a blast. This is super, super fun. This is going straight into my walk around set. I really, really like it. It's super, super fun, and I am going to be performing this, and I will be using it for quite some time. So because of that, I recommend it to pretty much anyone that likes mentalism, or even that does card magic but wants to do something a bit different here and there. This is perfect for it. Heavily recommend it. What would I rate out of 10? Because it's something that goes directly in my walk around set and that I am going to be performing quite a lot, it gets a 9.5. It's not going to get a full 10 rating because the fact that I can't really perform it at every table, because it depends of the surface and everything, and I'm not someone that I'm someone that doesn't like really to intrude when people are eating and stuff like that, so I would never ask them to move things around for my performance. I would do something, even if they're eating and I'm forced to perform at their table, I would do something hands-off, right? And I wouldn't do this, but so solely because of that, I'm dogging it and 0.5 out of 10, but that's still super fun effect, super good, great little thing. I definitely recommend it. So that is the end of the review. If you have any additional questions, make sure to go down below. If you want to learn more about it, go check Joel's live streams about the product. You're going to learn much more exposure about the effect, and you're going to be able to know if this is really the good fit for you if you have additional questions after my review. But nonetheless, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and see everyone in my next one. Bye-bye.